All right. So if you remember in the previous class, we saw this. Do I have any group on WhatsApp? I do. Yeah, this is for the new student. Um, just remind me after class. I'll send you a link to that WhatsApp group. HNT का भी डाउट्स रह गया है ना? उसका भी शायद फिर एक एक्स्ट्रा लेक्चर ही कभी लेंगे, where we'll try to discuss the HNT doubts. I think the booklet doubts from KTG and Thermo may be left. So maybe we'll plan and schedule one day when you guys are free. We'll schedule an extra lecture and we'll discuss that. Okay. HNT KTG का exercise जो discuss नहीं हुआ था वही point पे maybe next week again we'll plan an extra lecture where we'll discuss all of that. Why don't they arrange doubt lectures now? Good question. Even I am not sure why they don't arrange doubt lectures now. चलो अभी ये ice melting question, let's continue with this. So as I said, this is just the first variant. Okay, this is the most basic idea. इस पे थोड़ा variations आएगा. So we'll discuss those variations, for which I will first revise this once. All right. So the basic idea is we have realized that when ice melts, first of all, ice is yes, Gaurav, and okay, Prithvi, yeah. See, thanks for letting me know. We'll see. We'll find a way to schedule it nonetheless, whether they put in the timetable or not. Okay. Now, what I wanted to say was, please understand that when ice is in water, first of all, it is displacing a certain amount of water, right? How much water is it displacing? You can see कि this is a kind of pocket it's creating, है ना? तो इतना जो पानी जो यहाँ पे होना चाहिए था, वो अब है नहीं, क्योंकि ice उतना जगह occupy कर रहा है. So it, in a way, if you remove that ice cube before water flows back into place, you'll expect to see a vacant pocket like this if you remove that ice cube, है ना? Ice is currently displacing this much amount of water. Then what we realize is the mass of ice is equal to mass of water displaced. We get that from we get that from the fact that ice is in equilibrium. So because ice is in equilibrium, weight and buoyancy force should be equal. Now weight of ice is mass of ice into g, right? Weight of ice is mass of ice into g. Buoyancy force is mass of water currently displaced into g, right? And weight and buoyancy are equal because ice is neither going up nor going down. If you cancel out g from both sides, you're going to get that the mass of ice is equal to the mass of water currently displaced. Mass of ice is equal to mass of water currently displaced. On top of that, you know for a fact that mass of ice is equal to the mass of water formed on melting. Mass conservation hai na? When ice melts, you get the same mass of water. That means if you put the two together, it means that when ice melts, the amount of water formed on melting, the mass of water formed on melting, is the mass of water currently displaced, or the volume of water formed on melting is the volume of water currently displaced. So currently, how much water is displaced? Imagine the ice cube is not there. Imagine the water is not flowing back. So there is this kind of pocket created. There's that kind of, this much amount of water is out of its place. This much amount of water is displaced. इतना जगह भरना है. Interestingly enough, जब ice melt होता है, the amount of water it melts to is equal to the mass of water displaced. Matlab, the volume of water formed when ice melts is exactly equal to the volume of this pocket created by ice. Therefore, this pocket completely gets filled up There's no extra water, there's no less water, and therefore the level does not change. Did everyone get that? Everyone has understood. There's no doubts here, because now I'm going to give you some variation. ये फंडा एकदम बैठ गया दिमाग में. Okay, all right. So now there is one of you saying, sir, there is a huge contraction volume. The amount of contraction depends on the difference in density. I think ice का density लगभग 800-900 के आसपास है. Yeah, so there's almost like a 10% contraction in volume. 10-20% के आसपास contraction in volume रहेगा, roughly. Okay. All right. Now the variation is, what will happen to the water level if ice is in a low density liquid? So what happens to the water level if ice is in a low density liquid? One example is when ice melts in oil. कोल्ड ड्रिंक क्या मतलब डेंसिटी मेजर करना पड़ेगा, कोल्ड ड्रिंक का डेंसिटी ज्यादा है या कम है. कांट से, मोस्ट प्रोबेबली ज्यादा हो सकता है, but let's take something like oil. So what happens to the water level when ice melts in a in a low density liquid like oil? Does it rise? Does it fall? Etc. Melt सी भूल गया मैं. नहीं, अच्छा, let me keep it simple. So assume they are miscible. मतलब वो मेल्ट होके फिर सेपरेट रहेगा या मिक्स होगा, उसके बारे में नहीं सोचना है. Assume they are miscible. I don't want to know how the layers look inside. Okay, I'm not specifically asking, yes, ice heavy, मतलब पानी जो बनेगा heavier होगा तो नीचे जाएगा. All that is true. My simple question now just deals with whether the level will rise or fall or stay the same. Whether the level will rise or fall or stay the same. That's the main question we are concerned with. Will it rise? Will it fall? Will it stay the same? Think about the pocket now. All right. So everyone has thought about it. You want to know the answer? One minute more, sure. The answer does not matter whether they are miscible or immiscible. Answer does not matter whether they are miscible or immiscible. Question is, what happens in a way to the overall level of the liquid if the ice melts in a low density liquid? What happens to the overall level if it melts in a low density liquid? Okay, I'm noticing your answers. I'm going to confirm the answers shortly. What happens when ice melts? All right, the answer is, first of all, look at the pocket size. Okay, so when your ice melts, filal, just remove your ice cube. Notice that this time ice is submerged a lot more than before. है ना? Ice is more submerged than before. A greater fraction is submerged. Why? जितना लाइट होगा लिक्विड आइस की कंपैरिजन, एक तो फ्लोट हो रहा है, फ्लोट हो रहा है मतलब डेफिनेटली, मतलब आइस तो लिक्विड से कम डेंस है ही, वरना फ्लोट नहीं होता, बट ये लिक्विड पानी से कम डेंस है. So if this liquid is relatively less dense than water, you will find that ice is going to be more submerged. Ice is going to be more submerged. If ice is more submerged, the size of the empty pocket all right, a lot of people are answering. It's good to see the participation. Let me write the answer, then just cross check if you were saying the same thing. The size of the empty pocket. What do I mean by empty pocket? Ice cube hatane pe jo pocket banega na, the amount of water displaced. Can you see that the size of the empty pocket is more than before? More than in the normal case? More than before? So what does that mean? The size of the empty pocket is more than before, but the amount of water formed is the same. So where am I going from here? But the amount of water formed is the same, right? So now you can try rectifying your answers. Pocket का size बड़ा है, amount of formed water formed same है. Yes, Sahil will do that. Okay. So where are we? We are saying कि जब ये पहले तो because ये liquid का density पानी से कम है, you're going to expect this ice to be more submerged. You're going to expect this ice to be more submerged than before. Okay. Then अब ध्यान दो, इसके कारण the amount of what liquid it is currently displacing is a lot more. The amount of liquid it's currently displacing is a lot more. Yes, Prithvi. Now the amount of liquid it's displacing is more than before, but the amount of water formed is the same. All right. So what does it mean? Water formed is less than liquid formed. या ऐसा लिखता हूं, water formed is less than liquid displaced. Water formed is less than liquid displaced. What is that going to then tell us? Come on. So when you try to visualize what's going to happen, the level should decrease. All right. Why? Because now when ice forms water, it's going to form lesser water than the size of the pocket it was creating. It's going to form lesser water than the size of the pocket is creating. So now the surrounding region has more water, because of which your liquid should now flow from the sides into this gap. And as liquid flows from the sides into the gap, what is going to happen? The level is going to fall. As liquid tries to flow into the gap, the level is going to fall. Okay. Did you guys get that? Let me just see now what your doubts are. Yes, Kushagra, that's the other case. Yes. And one of you saying, how will we be able to predict how much liquid will be displaced by the ice? Okay, so how much liquid is displaced by the ice? Kile, I'll explain that again. एक simple funda hai, if you remember. एक second, let me just try to see if I can make this bigger. Come on. I'll explain it all again, don't worry. Let's see. Okay. देखो, if you remember, we saw that the volume submerged upon the volume of the solid, fraction submerged was what? Rho solid by rho liquid. ये याद है? Okay, ये याद है? फिर अगर लिक्विड का डेंसिटी कम है, मतलब फ्रैक्शन सबमर्ज ज्यादा है, so the liquid is displacing more, क्या बोल रहा हूँ, ice is displacing more of the liquid. The ice is more submerged in a less dense liquid. Because it's more submerged, right now it's creating a big pocket like this, a very big pocket, as compared to what it was creating in the case of water. Okay, when it was over water, it was creating a pocket of this size. ये जो blue से highlight किया है, it was creating a pocket of that size and was creating the same amount of water. The mass of water formed on melting was the mass of water currently displaced. Displaced मतलब वो pocket का size है ना, जो ice cube हटाने पे जो pocket cavity जैसा दिखेगा, उसका size is the same as the amount of water formed. But when it's in a less dense liquid, can you imagine ice being submerged more? Because ice is submerged more, the size of this pocket is a lot greater. The size of this pocket is greater than the amount of water formed. Amount of water will still be the same. Amount of ice जब melt होता है, you get the same amount of water. But in this case, it was submerged more, so the size of this pocket was more. So when ice melts and creates lesser amount of water, water formed is lesser than the liquid displaced. When the water formed is lesser than the size of that pocket, what is going to happen? As the levels start to equalize, अब ये बात छोड़ दो कि पानी नीचे जाएगा, लेयर्स सेपरेट रहेंगे, मिक्स होगा या नहीं होगा. In any situation, as the levels start to equalize and the final surface ends up looking flat, isn't the surface going to be lower than what it was before? Because whatever be the case, ultimately some liquid has to flow into this gap over there, and therefore the level is going to fall. So in fact, I shouldn't say water level, maybe I can say liquid level. What happens to the liquid level, since we're not strictly dealing with water in this case? So what happens to the liquid? I'll zoom in and write that. And the answer is liquid level falls. Can you visualize? Of course, you may know the answer to this, but can you also visualize the same process when ice is made to melt in a higher density liquid? Can you visualize that? You of course know the answer for that, but can you visualize and see how the level is going to change this time? है ना? Okay, can I, yeah. So can I repeat this part? ये part हमने पहले derive किया है when liquid floats. ठीक है, we have seen it over here somewhere, I think buoyancy के वक्त आ गया, हाँ है ना. तो वहां से देखा था कि the fraction that floats is equal to is dependent on the ratio of densities. जितना ज्यादा लिक्विड का relative density, उतना कम submerge होगा, और जितना कम लिक्विड का relative density है ना, उतना ज्यादा submerged होगा. Remember, if the liquid's density is less, this is about to sink. If it's about to sink, it should be submerged more. Simple. Okay. Yes, and those who are answering for the second question, you're answering perfectly. I mean, you're all right. Let me see if I can use a shortcut. Is there a way to copy this? Come on. No way to copy this. Way to duplicate. No. The answer is level, of course, increases. So what happens to the water level? In this case, it increases. Okay? So this time the pocket size will be lesser, and because the pocket size will be lesser, when the levels try to equalize, you're going to find that ultimately the water level or the liquid level rises. Liquid level rises. मुझे प्रीवियस पेज दिखाना है, देख लो। हाँ देख लो। All those who told me to wait, just let me know when you're done. Done. एक बार ना जो टेम्परेचर वाला एक बंदा डाउट पूछ रहा है, आई थिंक दैट्स अ गुड डाउट, जस्ट I'll address that, don't worry. Okay? I'll come to that doubt. So what happens to the liquid level when the ice melts in a high density liquid? And then this basic idea is the situation will look something like this. Now I'm just going to use diagrams to convey the idea. थोड़ा exaggerate करके ऐसा draw करूंगा कि यार it is submerged less than before, and because it's submerged less than before, the size of the pocket that it's creating is lesser, and therefore when it melts, you know, it's going to create a lot more water. This is the size of the pocket. So on melting, the amount of water formed is more. Mass of water formed is more than the mass of liquid displaced, and therefore in this scenario, what's going to happen is, as the levels ultimately have to become the same, as the level has to become the upper surface level, as it has to become flat, as any liquid always tries to attain that kind of flat surface, you will find that this water level that you were observing, this liquid level that you are observing, will end up rising. So because this is submerged less than before, the liquid level rises. The opposite of the previous case. And why is it submerged less than before? Because again, rho s by rho l, ratio of densities is fraction submerged. Okay? So if your liquid is more dense, fraction submerged is lesser. That's why it's submerged less than before. Okay, copy this and let me know when you're done. Mass of equaling, क्या आ जाएगा? Mass of water formed is greater than the mass of liquid displaced. Greater than the mass of liquid displaced. नहीं तो very easy, just visualize, see कितना है ना, ज्यादा submerged है तो finally melt होके मतलब levels गिरेगा, कम submerged है तो melt होके levels rise होगा. Yes, आयुष. इक्वल किस केस में होगा? इक्वल इस केस में होगा. ये तो है ना, व्हेन आइस मेल्ट्स, इस केस में इक्वल होगा. व्हेन आइस मेल्ट्स इन वाटर इटसेल्फ, वाटर एंड आइस का मतलब वाटर का नॉर्मल जो डेंसिटी है, मतलब वाटर इज एट 0, सामने आइस जो मेल्ट हो रहा है, आइस इज बिकमिंग वाटर एट 0 डिग्री सेल्सियस. सो द सराउंडिंग लिक्विड का भी टेम्परेचर is 0 degree Celsius and the surrounding liquid is water, which will normally be the case, है ना. आइस के बाजू में जो लिक्विड होगा उसका टेम्परेचर टिपिकली 0 ही होगा, because it's right next to it. So surrounding liquid का फिर डेंसिटी और आइस जो पानी में कन्वर्ट होगा उसका डेंसिटी सेम रहेगा, and in that case you'll of course expect to see कि the water level stays the same. So basically when ice melts in water, your answer is levels stay the same. Yash, I hope that answers your doubt as well. If you make ice melt in some other liquid, then it like if you make ice melt in water at some other temperature instead of naturally being zero close to ice, if it's at some other temperature, then typically you'll have to compare the densities and see, is water at that temperature more dense than zero or less dense than water at zero. Accordingly, it will be one of the other cases. But normally when they try to ask you a question on this, they'll be quite specific. They'll either say ice melting in water, or they'll say ice melting in high density liquid, or ice melting in a low density liquid. Okay. Now some more good questions for you to think about. Again, these are all questions. Again, this is not just theory. These are questions that I'm trying to introduce you to. You're supposed to think and apply physics and answer these questions. Don't take guesses. So next one is boat rock questions. Okay. Can I show the last slide for a sec? Yes. Now, boat rock questions. So इसमें क्या है? Imagine that I am in the middle of a lake, okay? And I have this big rock, in spite of which my boat is still floating. Okay? And the question now is, if I throw this rock into the water, you take your time. If you are getting an answer within seconds, most likely your answer is not wrong. Your answer is wrong. Again, because you need to think of this, apply physics. So if the rock is thrown into the water, if the rock is thrown into the water, how will the water level change? Initially, yes, as seen in the diagram, initially the rock is in the boat, finally is thrown into the water. How will the water level change? Parth, very nice. Okay, a lot of people are saying there'll be no change in the water level. The rock in the boat is thrown into the water. Yes. One person is saying it will rise. One person has said it will fall. Everyone else is saying it will remain the same. Okay, two people are saying it will fall. Three people. All right. Ready for the answer? Okay, I'm getting more falls now. All those who said that it will fall, you're all correct. All those who said it will fall, you're correct. Quite, it may seem a little surprising, but let's see. Let's see what physics is going to tell us. All right. In fact, yeah, Parth was the first to tell it will fall. I hope you have the logic ready as well. देखो क्या हो जाएगा if it falls. Let me just say this कि पहले एक सिंपल सा आइडिया समझो. जितना ज्यादा लिक्विड डिस्प्लेस्ड होगा, okay, people want to hear Parth explain, so Parth, you can type out your explanation. Let's see if it's going to be the same as mine. But in the meanwhile, एक चीज समझो, लॉजिकल सा चीज है. डू यू अग्री कि मैं जितना ज्यादा पानी को डिस्प्लेस करूंगा उतना हाई पानी का लेवल रहेगा? डू यू अग्री विद दैट? है ना? If I push this deeper and deeper, water level rises. Quite logical. So the more I displace water, the higher its level. That said, if I compare the two situations, हाँ like a piston, मतलब it's like a piston's work only. इसको नीचे push किया तो और किधर पानी rise होना चाहिए, because water's level has to be, I mean water's volume has to be conserved. Now, if I compare the two situations, okay, very nice. Actually, पार्थ का आंसर लॉजिक भी सही है. Good job, yeah. If I compare the two situations, in which case is more water being displaced? Okay, so you're going to get this from Archimedes' principle. In this case, in case one, एक मिनट पहले पूरा solution एक बार सुन लो. In case one, buoyancy force is equal to weight of boat. Maybe I'll just talk about the magnitude. In case one, your buoyancy force is equal to weight of the boat plus weight of the rock. In this case, second case, buoyancy force is, or rather let me say कि buoyancy force भी लग रहा है, normal force भी लग रहा है. पहले केस में सिर्फ buoyancy का force था, है ना? There was only your buoyant force. In the second case, buoyant force भी है, and we know the rock is on the ground and the ground is holding it in place. So buoyant force and normal force are also there. Okay. So as a result of this, what we have over here is buoyant force plus normal force. Consider the boat and the rock as your system. That is balancing the weight of the boat plus the weight of the rock. Do you agree with this? First case, the buoyant force alone balances the weight of the boat and the rock. In the second case, the buoyant force uses the normal reactions help to balance the weight of the boat and the block, which means in the second case, my buoyant force is actually less than the weight of the boat plus the weight of the rock. Okay, let's give this some more symbols. Let me call this the final buoyant force. And let's call this, no, this should be the initial buoyant force. This is the final buoyant force. Okay, net buoyant force. Net. In fact, this is clubbing the buoyant force acting on the rock as well. In fact, कोई बोल रहा था कि sir, is normal equal to the weight of the rock? Not really, है ना? You remember we did this question before. When an object sinks, normal plus buoyant force, they balance the weight of the object that has sunk. So यहाँ पे when I talk about BF, I'm talking about the total buoyant force acting on both guys. यहाँ पे भी total buoyant force acting on both guys. Initially, the total buoyant force was balancing the weight of the boat and the rock. Finally, the total buoyant force plus normal reaction, milke, they are balancing the weight of the boat and the rock, which means what? Which means that my final buoyant force is actually lesser than my initial buoyant force. Do you agree with this? Yes. Okay. One of you is saying, sir, but normal is a contact force. So how does it help the buoyant force since the boat is still floating? Baba, the normal is not helping that buoyant force. मैं क्या बोल रहा हूँ, मैं इनका equilibrium देख रहा हूँ. Simple सी बात है. If I consider the boat and my block as the system, there are effectively only two types, boat and the rock as my system. There are only two types of external forces acting on them. One is force by water. Second is gravity, and the third could be force by the ground. In the first case, force by water, yani ki buoyant force, completely balances the weight. In the second case, force by water is upward, normal reaction is upward, and notice that they are not going up nor down. Matlab in this case, buoyant force along with normal reaction is कुल मिलके countering the weight of both the objects. पहले buoyant force was enough to counter the weight of both objects. This time the total buoyant force plus the total normal force, they're acting individually, but the buoyant force plus the normal force combined is countering the weight of the boat and the rock, which is a clear demonstration of how the buoyant force in this case is less than the buoyant force in the initial case. Did you get that now? So if the buoyant force is less, that means what? By Archimedes principle, if the final buoyant force is less, the water displaced I'm talking about water displaced because we have realized कि जितना water displaced है उससे हमें पता चलता है water level को क्या होगा. तो when is water displaced more? Since buoyant force is initially more, water displaced is also more initially. The water displaced is also more initially. Where does this come from? Archimedes principle. Archimedes principle बोलता क्या है? Buoyant force is weight of water displaced. Right? तो अगर buoyant force initially ज़्यादा है, तो water displaced is also more initially, directly from your Archimedes principle. So if water displaced is more initially, if water displaced is more initially, water level was more initially. Right? Because water level directly has a correlation with the amount of water displaced. Greater the water displaced, greater the water level. तुम ज्यादा पानी डिस्प्लेस करोगे तो वाटर लेवल और ऊपर जाएगा. तो इनिशियली एक्चुअली ये बोट है ना रॉक, you can't picture it, you won't be able to visualize it clearly, but initially because of the rock the boat was submerged a lot in water. So because the boat was submerged a lot in water, what was really happening is your water level was quite high initially. It had forced this water level to be quite high initially. Finally क्या हो जाता है? Finally, because your water displaced is less, your water level will be, where was that? Because your water displaced is less, your water level will be lower, will be less. So it is more initially and it is less finally, which means your water level falls. Did you guys get that? Yeah, it does not depend on the size of the rock. Phenomena does not depend on the size of the rock. Rugvin, that is something we can talk about once we learn terminal velocity and what happens, because terminal, तुम जो बोल रहे हो terminal velocity का, that involves a few more concepts, specifically involves the concept of viscosity. So when we learn that, we can talk about that. Okay. Okay. One of you is asking another. So एक मिनट. Yes, Samarth, yes, yes. Now one of you is asking ki, why does an iron nail sink, but why does an iron ship float? So why does an iron, in simple words, why does an iron ship float? Aren't things made of iron supposed to sink? Why does an iron ship float? Very nice. So all those who are trying to say that the ship is hollow, and therefore it has a lot of empty spaces, etc. Okay, ship floats because there is nothing compared to the ocean. यार ऐसा नहीं है, ठीक है? The whole point is, even an iron nail is nothing compared to the ocean. You drop an iron nail, it's going to fall. The main idea is the ship का जो density है ना, that's actually not the same as the density of iron. Because ship में क्या होगा, just a casual diagram would look something like this. It has iron on the boundary, but then all of the inside is, I mean, imagine the inside is empty space. All right. Now, because the inside is empty space, when you try to calculate the density of the ship, it is not the same as the density of the iron. All right. Because the net density of the ship, the mass is only in this much region, but then the volume counted is all of this. So when you try to find the density of the ship as such on an average, it will be a lot lesser because you have air and maybe other particles and a lot of empty space in this region, a lot of air in this region. So when you try to calculate density, these are contributing to the volume, but they're not contributing that much to the total mass. So on an average, the net density of a ship becomes lesser than the density of water, and that's why it floats, because of those hollow spaces. This much extra region is not contributing to the mass, but it's increasing volume. So ultimately, it's effectively decreasing density. If it was a solid block of iron, definitely it would have sunk. But it's because of the empty spaces that it does not sink. Okay. All right. इसमें water level falls. Last. हाँ, दूसरी बात ये है कि मतलब metals used in making boat is not pure iron. That's there. But I'm just saying, even if it was iron, if it's like a hollow box of iron, theoretically, it is possible to make, even if it's a hollow box of any heavy metal, it is possible to make it float. Okay, Sama saying is aluminium. Okay, I'm not fully aware what exact material is used, but yeah, it is possible to make a hollow box of any heavy metal also float because of the empty space. यार ये आंसर कर लो. If the boat throws out, if the boat throws out, okay, if the boat throws out a log of wood, what will happen? Why do ships sink then? Array, they sink once water starts entering, then the ship will sink. When water starts entering the empty space through a hole in the bottom, then the ship will start to sink. वो effective density फिर ship का technically बढ़ना start होगा, है ना? Okay, so if the boat throws out a log of wood, what will happen? What will happen? What will happen to the water level is what I'm asking. Okay, so no, Deven, and you don't have that in your syllabus as well. I mean, you don't need to know about. Yes, think and answer. This one is easier. See, the speed at which some of you guys are answering is implying that यार तुमने वो equations नहीं लिखा. Why did I show you all the equations in the previous thing? Yes, the log is going to float. Join the dots. Wooden log float होगा. So think of how I answered the previous question and try to follow the same pattern and answer. Previous question, I said the whole key lies on how much water is displaced. And to figure out how much water is displaced, you need to see what is the net buoyant force. Okay. What is happening to the net buoyant force? What will happen to the level of water? Same question like before. What will happen to the level of water? Okay, so let me see. Parth again got this right. Kushal got it right. We need to find the what happens to the water level? Does it stay the same or does it rise? Santi and Ahmed and Sahil and Kushagra, Tarun. I think now everyone's answering correctly. Rishi, I may have missed names, but Aman, yeah. So the idea is it should actually stay the same. This time it's floating, and because it is floating, if you compare the buoyant force in both cases, initially also buoyant force has to balance. अब short form में लिख रहा हूँ weight of block boat plus rock. अब ये log हो गया ना, तो चलो पूरा ही लिख लेता हूँ. Initially also my buoyant force has to balance the weight of the boat plus the weight of the log, and finally also my buoyant force has to balance the weight of the boat plus the weight of the log. There is no support from normal reaction. So what am I getting with this? Buoyant force is equal, and if buoyant force is equal, water displaced is equal in both cases. Simple. And if water displaced, why should the buoyant force increase? Can I see it increase? Think of the bigger picture. यहाँ पे कुल मिलके buoyant force इनका weight को balance कर रहा है. Bigger picture. यहाँ पे कुल मिलके buoyant force, again कुल मिलके buoyant force इन्हीं का weights को balance कर रहा है. It has no help from anyone else. It's the buoyant force which ultimately has to hold the boat and the log in place. So because my buoyant force has not changed, by Archimedes principle, volume displaced initially and finally should be the same, and therefore the level should remain the same. So water displaced has not changed, and since water displaced has not changed, there will be no change in the water level. Okay. Yes, I'll show the previous slide after this. Any doubts in this, please ask. Guys, एक बार लिख के हो गया फिर बता दो. क्लियर है? समझ में आ रहा है? Anyone wants me to wait on this? कोई पूछ रहा है सर, if the log was thrown out of water, मतलब out of the lake itself, lake के बाहर ही गया है ना, some bird picks it up or something like that, then of course यार, मतलब ये log अगर पानी को displace नहीं कर रहा है, तुम log को हटा दोगे तब तो water level गिरेगा. If log is, you remove one of these guys and stop them from pushing the water down and thereby making it rise from there, then ultimately if you remove the log, of course water level गिरेगा. That's there. अच्छा, अब देखो इससे now how we're going to join the dots and figure out, ये पेज देखना था. We're going to join the dots and figure out what happens when ice with some impurity melts. Okay, so like the best kind of question in this concept will be when you have ice containing some kind of impurity. Okay. Done with this page, whoever brought me here. Okay. No, Deven, it does not. From your Archimedes principle, it does not make a difference. All right. So now this is ice with impurity. Okay, you have ice with an impurity. Okay. So what will happen when ice melts is the question. Okay. So right now I'm just we have kind of understood the idea. I'm just now going to give you a way to approach these questions. The basic idea is, first you need to see, first throw the impurity out of the boat. Okay, the first thing, break this into two parts. First, throw the impurity out of the boat. What is behaving like the boat over here? Ice. Okay, so you throw the impurity out of the boat, or in this case ice, and then you know what to do, right? If the it depends on the nature of the impurity. So throw the impurity out of the boat. Over here ice is like the boat that is carrying the impurities. You throw it out, and you know for a fact that if the impurity floats, what is the contribution of this process to the water level? No change. And on the other hand, if the impurity sinks, the level rises. So if the impurity floats, इस process के दौरान there is no change, and if the impurity sinks, then उस process के दौरान the level rises. नहीं, rises नहीं, क्या falls है ना, falls. Okay, तो ये first process है ना. पहले ice को, पहले impurity बाहर फेंक दो, उसके बाद ice को melt कराओ, then make the ice melt. So now what happens when you allow the ice to melt? Allow the ice to melt. What happens when you allow the ice to melt? So then you know the results for this. There are again, iske andar there are three cases. So first is if it melts in water. If it melts in water, then the result is no further change. No further change in level. मतलब part 1 में जो भी change हुआ, depending on the case, वो वैसा का वैसा ही रहेगा. Okay. Then let me complete the table. What if it melts in a low density liquid? याद करो low density है ना. Don't memorize these things. Imagine low density मतलब ice ज्यादा अभी just sink होने वाला है, ज्यादा submerged है, बड़ा pocket है, बड़ा pocket में वो melt होके कम पानी भर रहा है, तो फिर surrounding liquid अंदर flow होगा and level falls. So in this case level decreases, level falls, low density liquid level falls. Okay, and then the last one, if it melts in a high density liquid, if it melts in a high density liquid, then the level rises. Okay, all right, level rises. So you can put these two together and then comment on what happens to the water level. Okay, one of you is saying, what if the impurity dissolves? Baba, even if the impurity dissolves, it's not like the volume is going to reduce somehow. That molecule is still going to occupy some amount of space. So if the impurity dissolves, you don't expect the level to change as such. It's still molecules going in, and accordingly, right, it shouldn't really make a difference. What if the two steps contradict? So I can see only one place where the two steps contradict. Yeah, where they give you ice with an impurity that sinks, and that too they place it in a high density liquid. Okay, in this case your answer is cannot comment. I mean, even the teacher making the question knows that. They're not even going to make a question on this, of course, because unless they specifically want you to answer, cannot comment. Okay, so अगर ऐसा question आया कि ice has a heavy impurity and it's in a high density liquid, then there are two factors. एक तो impurity को देखो इसको ना एक साथ मत करो, एक साथ करोगे तो थोड़ा कंफ्यूजिंग हो सकता है फॉर यू टू विजुअलाइज. But since we have mastered that boat rock question and since we have mastered the ice normal melting question, club the two. First throw the impurity out. If it sinks, उसके कारण लेवल थोड़ा गिरेगा. और अगर आइस मेल्ट हो रहा है हाई डेंसिटी लिक्विड में तो उसके कारण लेवल थोड़ा राइज होगा. ऐसा क्वेश्चन वैसा आएगा नहीं, बट अगर आया तो इसका आंसर क्या दे सकते हैं? वी कैन से कैन नॉट कमेंट बिकॉज देयर आर टू कॉन्ट्रडिक्टिंग प्रोसेसेस. इवन द टीचर नोज दैट. That's why they'll keep the answer for this as cannot comment. But on the or insufficient data or something like that. Okay? But on the other hand, for all the other processes, quite obvious answer. For instance, if ice melts in a low density liquid and the impurity inside ice is heavy, not too complicated. Low density liquid, impurity is heavy. Impurity is heavy. Impurity को बाहर फेंकोगे तो it will sink. Level will fall उसके कारण. Melting in a low density liquid के कारण level will further fall. So what is our answer? Definitely level falls. If it melts in water, एक तो impurity के कारण level will fall, and then ice melting in water उस process के कारण no change. तो overall क्या level falls. Quite simple. Quite simple. On the other hand, if the impurity floats, and ice melts in a high density liquid, put the two together. Impurity floating के कारण no change in the level, but melting in a high density liquid के कारण level rises. Right? So by breaking up this seemingly complex question, it's actually a very good question, but by breaking it up into these two processes, you can comment on what happens to the level. Did you guys get this? If you have any doubts, please ask. Can I give an example of ice melting in a low density liquid as ice melting in oil? Oil is for sure a lower density liquid, right? So if you have ice melting in oil, and if your ice has iron filings for some reason, you are going to expect ultimately the level to fall. And even if the ice has wood shavings for some reason, no change plus level fall means level fall. It's quite simple. Done this way. Why are we labeling it as an impurity? Or anything apart from ice is an impurity. When you want to put ice in a drink, you don't want anything apart from water inside that ice. In this line, this is ice. The word over here is ice. Okay, so we are comparing ice to the boat. पहले impurity को ice के बाहर फेंकेंगे, जैसे कुछ चीज को boat के बाहर फेंक देते हैं, है ना? So we'll throw that foreign substance outside ice. Then based on whether it floats on sinks, we'll see what happens to the level. Then we'll allow ice to melt. Okay, now in reality it happens simultaneously. But we'll do this one after the other. एक ही बात है. So it will help you, get the answer in the most structured way. Okay. What if mixture of salt and ice is in water? Somebody is asking. My guess is salt and ice in water. If you throw the salt out, salt dissolves. Dissolves in a way means it's suspended in water. All right. So in that case, it's in a way it's as good as floating in water. So no change in level. And then you let the ice cube also dissolve. Ice cube also melt, and I think melting also will involve no further change. Okay, so although dissolving is not something we're going to really ask in physics, but my guess is it's going to have no change, because dissolving is like floating somewhere or the other throughout the liquid. Okay, cool. All right, यार कोई एक last time I already answered this. अगर ये ऐसा केस अगर किसी ने पूछा जिसमें फॉल हो रहा है एंड राइज हो रहा है, उसमें नो चेंज आंसर मत करो. Okay, if at all your teacher asks you this, the simple answer to this is cannot comment. Don't say no change. We don't know level पहले process में कितना गिरेगा और दूसरे process में कितना rise होगा. The best answer for this is no change. No change. The best answer for this is cannot comment. Okay. All right, let's move on. Please remember that मतलब ऐसे theoretical questions आएंगे है ना. If you know your stuff, you can answer it in seconds, save time, and you can move on, while others are gonna struggle and maybe even get it wrong. So it'll give you a good edge if you remember these questions. Okay, the next thing we want to see is pressure on a wall. Okay, pressure on a wall. So imagine that um, I have this section of liquid, okay, and I have a, maybe let's say I have a rectangular or a cuboidal tank like this. Yes, Devin, that's true. Okay, so imagine that that's my tank जिसके अंदर कोई तो liquid है, and let's say अब मैं general case दे रहा हूँ, let's say यहाँ का pressure is P1. Of course, we know P1 is going to be P ATM, it's exposed to the atmosphere. But फिलहाल, let's just do a general derivation. Let's say this pressure is P1 along this entire horizontal surface, and along this entire surface, the pressure is P2. Let's say the length of this entire, the width of this tank is L. Okay. Now, yeah, the deeper we go, the pressure, of course, increases. But now what we want to do is we want to find the net force applied by the liquid on this wall. So what would I have to do theoretically? In fact, I would encourage you to try this. यहाँ का pressure P1 दिया है, नीचे का pressure P2 दिया है. I'm also going to give you the density of my liquid. Okay, and I'm also going to give you the height of this water level. I mean, height is h. Okay, वो सब दिया है. P1 and P2 are, come on, act का point नहीं है. P1 and P2 is the entire pressure at the bottom. ठीक है, acting on this portion of the wall. P1 is the entire pressure acting at this portion. I mean, at the top, acting on this portion of the wall. Okay, and then we know कि नीचे जाते जाते pressure change हो रहा है. मुझे force on the wall चाहिए. Height is given to you as h. The force on the wall चाहिए. On this wall, force चाहिए. In fact, let me use the phrase force on a wall. Force on the wall. मुझे force on the wall चाहिए. How do I need to do this? Is there going to be some kind of direct thing that I can? We know force is pressure into area. Can I directly use force is pressure into area? Can I use this kind of equation? What is the problem with this equation? I mean, what is the problem with this equation? Pressure is not the same at all points. Okay, so pressure varies. So then that is our hint कि हमें क्या करना है, हमें integrate करना है. Can you try this out? Okay, can you integrate? I'll help you with the element. Consider an element which is at a distance of h or at the depth of h. Stop. Stop. I'm giving away too many clues. हाँ यार, आता है तुम्हें, कर लो, कम ऑन. Okay, those who don't need this, don't use it. But those who need it, that's my element. उस पे force निकालो. Yes, Diana, are you also one of them? Ah, okay. ठीक. Parth यार, नहीं है, मतलब that's not the right. I want force. I want force. Kushagra, that's also not right. Again, to help those who are stuck, this is the next clue. I want force on this element. पहले ये force अच्छे से लिख लो. Find the force on this element. You can write this in terms of P1 and stuff like that. P1, DH, L, H, and the force on that element. Okay. We are trying to find the force on this wall. For those who got disconnected, we're trying to find the force on this wall. And we have a case where the pressure at the top is P1 and the pressure at the bottom is P2. And we want to find the force on this wall. I'm encouraging the students to somehow integrate. I mean, first find the force on this element and then integrate to find the total pressure. So let me see your answers. Some of your answers are close, but you're missing P1 in your answers. Yes, I think Disha's answer is perfectly correct. Some of you have answered correctly, you missed P1. Huh? I mean, that's the only error. Prithvi, sahi hai. Okay, thoda, let me help you out a little bit. So we are going to say that DF is pressure into dA for this kind of element. DF is pressure into area for this element. Yes, Shivank. A lot of answers are coming into just एक बार cross check कर लो. DF is pressure into dA for this element. So what we're going to now do is, iska pressure can actually be written in terms of P1, right? The pressure at this point is actually P1 plus rho GH. P1 plus rho GH. Okay, so I know the pressure. I can write the area. Okay, what can the area be? This is a rectangular strip. Simple element area is going to be length into breadth. So definitely our area is going to be L into DH. Very nice. प्रेशर आता है, एरिया आता है, मतलब फोर्स आता है. फोर्स ऑन वन स्मॉल एलिमेंट आता है, मतलब टोटल फोर्स भी आ सकता है. जस्ट इंटीग्रेट. Add up the entire, add up all the forces. So integral P1, integrate P1 plus rho GH into L dH, and integrate this from where to where? So all across the wall. So integrate it from 0 to capital H. Okay. When I integrate this, let me check if there are any doubts. यार क्या है P2? तुम यार there are, come on, there are, so तुम P इसका pressure, H is the total height. इस एलिमेंट पे फोर्स चाहिए, तो इस एलिमेंट का प्रेशर इनटू एरिया चाहिए. इस एलिमेंट का प्रेशर इज P1 प्लस रो जी एच. H इज माय डिस्टेंस फ्रॉम द टॉप. तुम्हें P2 के टर्म्स में लिखना है तो ऐसा लिखो घुमा फिरा के, P2 माइनस रो जी कैपिटल H माइनस स्मॉल h लिखना पड़ेगा. तो थोड़ा फिर P2 का वैल्यू सब्स्टिट्यूट करोगे तो वापस यही तो आएगा, P1 प्लस रो जी एच, है ना. So if you want to write in terms of P2, you'll have to define H in this way. फिर P2 minus rho GH लिख सकते हो. Measure H from the bottom. यहाँ पे I deliberately measured H from the top so that I could write P1 plus rho GH. ठीक है? It's ultimately going to be the same thing. There's no big difference. Your final answer will look the same. ठीक है? Now इसका क्या आ जाएगा? P1 L and DH का integration is simply going to be H. Whereas rho GHL ka integration is going to be rho GL, and H ka integration is going to be H square by 2. So this is the net force that we get. And now there's something interesting to observe in this force. Okay, what we can observe over here is, if I take LH common, I get P1 plus rho G H by 2 times LH. In fact, LH is nothing but the area of the wall. LH is nothing but the area of the wall. And P1 plus rho GH is nothing but average pressure. Now, what do I mean by average pressure? Think about this. This is P1 plus rho GH by 2. By average pressure, I am implying pressure at the midpoint of the wall. Yeah, pressure at the middle of the wall. Whatever you prefer. Pressure at the middle line of the wall, the middle plane. है ना? So average pressure क्या हो जाएगा? Average pressure हो जाएगा, है ना? You can either say average pressure is P1 plus rho G आधा height, है ना? बीच में क्या pressure होएगा? P1 plus rho G आधा height, है ना? So that is your average pressure. Or you can also say average pressure is P1 plus P2 by 2. You can also write average pressure as P1 plus P2 by 2. Either you can say that, or you can also say it is P1 plus P2 by 2. You can substitute P2 and check. If you substitute P2 as P1 plus rho GH, you will get exactly this. देख लो, P1 plus P1 by 2 is P1, and फिर rho GH by 2 is rho GH by 2. दिख रहा है? P2 को P1 plus rho GH, मतलब this is also your average pressure. So you can either say this is average pressure, P1 plus P2 का average, quite logical, P1 plus P2, P1 and P2 का average, या middle का pressure, बीच का pressure. That times area is interestingly the force on this rectangular wall. If the wall is not rectangular, you'll unfortunately have to integrate. But a very common question is when the wall is rectangular, and when the wall is rectangular, this is how you can find the force. All right, so I wasn't able to check everyone's solution, but all those who got this, you can give yourself a pat on the back. You've done well. Okay, good. You want to try a question on this? Okay, one of you saying, sir, how is it P1 plus P2 by 2? थोड़ा देख लो यार, डालो P2, ये यहाँ पे हिंट दिया मैंने, ठीक है, ये डाल के देखो क्या आ जाएगा. Put P2. Very funny, Aman. Put P2 over here. You should get this. P1 plus P1 by 2 हो जाएगा P1, है ना? And then rho GH by 2 is this. So this is just for you to observe कि this term is actually this term. Either way, you can find average pressure, multiply average pressure with the total area of the wall. Okay. So let's try one question where we have, I'll wait for a minute. Hello. Let me know when you're done. Yeah, his class is still 8:45. You have a lecture after this? Yeah? कुछ भी? At 9? It's a doubt lecture. 9:15 को है ना? ठीक है यार, चलो एक क्वेश्चन तो कर लेते हैं. Be a little. I'll try to leave you by 8:30, 8:35ish. Okay, I want to do just 2 questions. Okay? 8:35 तक ले लेता हूँ. हो गया ना ये पेज? I hope. अच्छा, I'll take a call. या पहले एक बार क्वेश्चन कर लो, ठीक है? I'll take a call on the time. You guys solve this question. Let's say I have 2 liquids this time. So I have 10 meters as the thickness of each layer of liquid. You can imagine them to be water and then something denser than water. So let's say its density is 1000 and नीचे वाले का density is 2000. Let's say the width of this tank is 1 meter. The width going inwards is 1 meter. This is the front view. तो अंदर की तरफ ये 1 meter जाता है. PATM is 10⁵ pascals. Yeah. I want to find the force on this wall, the left wall. To find the force on the left wall. Let me see your answers. I'm seeing 3 answers. I think all 3 of them do not match with the answer I have. Okay, the answer I'm getting is 45 into 10 raised to, oh wow, Purna ka aa gaya, 45 into 10 raised to 5. 45 into 10 raised to 5. एक ये इसमें ये ऑब्जर्व कर लो कि इन दिस डेरिवेशन डेंसिटी वाज नॉट चेंजिंग, मतलब मैंने यहाँ पे जो भी किया ये एक लिक्विड के लिए ट्रू है ना, ये एक लिक्विड के लिए ट्रू है, तो तुम क्या करोगे फिर, यहाँ पे 2 लिक्विड है तो क्या करोगे, इंडिविजुअली दोनों लिक्विड के कारण फोर्स निकालो, है ना, यहाँ पे इंडिविजुअली लिक्विड्स के कारण फोर्स निकालो, ठीक है, एंड देन यू कैन add the 2 forces up. So the idea then is, okay, let's go over this quickly. We need the answers, by the way, those who are solving, तो मान ले आंसर लिख रहा हूँ, the answer is 45 into 10 raised to 5. ठीक है, those who think you're getting it, continue solving. To those who didn't get what to do, or just to save time, I'll just show the solution. So the idea is, in this, you need to find the pressure. Yes, Prithvi, you need to find the pressure at these 2 midpoints, है ना, find the pressure at those 2 midpoints. So let's call this point A and let's call this point B. Is, yes, you can take GS10, please take GS10. इस wall, इस liquid के कारण force निकालना है, so you need to use the pressure at point A, and point A is exactly, in this case, this is going to be 5 meters into the first liquid. Point B is going to be 5 meters into the second liquid. Okay, point A ka pressure is going to be P ATM plus rho GH, so that's 1000 into G, which is 10, into height, which is 5. So that becomes 10 raised to 5. That's 1 lakh plus 50,000. That becomes 1.5 lakhs. 1.5 lakhs. Okay. So this is P at point A. Similarly, find the pressure at point B. Find the pressure at point B. So pressure at point B is again P ATM plus, okay, so I need to first reach this liquid. So in order to reach this liquid, I need 1000 into G into 10. I'm going to descend through a height of 10. 45 hai, 45 hai, not 48. I'm going to descend through a height of 10 to reach this liquid. Uske baad, I'll further descend. Very nice, Devin. I'll further descend in the second liquid, jiska density is 2000. I'll descend by a distance of 5 meters. All right. So then when you add this up, this is the pressure at point B. B is the midpoint of the second liquid, yeah, or the middle, yeah, the middle of the midpoint of the second liquid, if you want. So this becomes, ये खुद 1 lakh है, ये भी 1 lakh है, और यहाँ पे 2000 into 5, 10,000, ये भी 1 lakh है. So this becomes 3 lakhs. This becomes very nice. This becomes 3 lakhs. That said, now you can find the net force by multiplying the pressure at A with whatever was behaving as the area of the wall, for the first liquid. Okay, and then you can multiply the pressure at B with whatever was behaving as the area of the wall for the second liquid. Average pressure into area is a formula. So PA into iska area plus PB into iska area. And what is the area of the wall really? It's 10 meters into 1 meter. Yeah, for both of them the height is 10 and the width is 1. So 10 into 1, 10 meters square becomes the area. So then just multiply that. Then the answer we're getting is 1.5 into 10 raised to 5 into 10 for the first one meter square. In fact, let me just write as 10 into 1, okay, height into length, height into width. And similarly 3 lakh into 10 for the second one. So this is what you do with multiple liquids. इसका आंसर आ जाएगा 4.5 into 10 to the power minus 6. माइनस बोल दिया क्या मैंने, सॉरी. 4.5 into 10 raised to 6 Newton. So it will help to remember this key. Yeah, of course तुम integrate कर ही सकते हो. It's always good while you're practicing at home to keep working on your integration and integrate and get the result. The more you practice, the faster you'll become. But you can remember this result key for a rectangular wall is just average pressure into area. Average pressure into area. Any doubts in this page? Okay, then I'll just give you one homework question. I'll of course give you more from the HCV. Yes, Devain, yes, same thing. एक second. Let me address your doubts. One of you saying taking average height of both the parts. We're taking average height of both the parts because measurements tend to be more accurate around the center. I didn't get that. We just proved key. I mean, this has to do with the way that pressure changes. Pressure changes linearly. So because pressure is changing linearly, ये ऐसा हो रहा है कि the average is at the center. Like typically for any linear function, it's the way it's changing. Pressure and thereby force is changing linearly. तो कोई भी linear function का average exact बीच में होता है. इसलिए ये ऐसा relation आ रहा है. If it had some other dependence on height, you wouldn't have this relation. Because pressure changes linearly with height, average pressure for a force purpose comes out to be the pressure at the middle. Comes out to be P1 and P2 ka average. Okay, and got that? The other one is asking me why did I add? Because Baba, this is actually, if you look at this is force by liquid A, force by the first liquid, average pressure for the first liquid into area of the wall for the first liquid. Note, I've not taken 10, I've not taken 20, I've taken 10. But I'm just taking the area of the top part. And similarly for the second one, again, this is average pressure into area of the wall for the second liquid. So both are pushing the wall. So net force on the wall has to therefore be the addition of the two. Understood why we have added? Yes, Ayush, yes. Yeah, whoever asked about me adding them, I hope you got the idea now. Okay. Now, you didn't get it. You didn't get why this is added. Ek minute. Acha, I'll repeat it for you. Let me just give the homework question for these guys. They can leave and I'll repeat that for you. Just hold on. Homework question एक ऐसा है कि मेरे पास ऐसा एक vessel है, ठीक है? And I have, okay, I have a quarter cylinder. So this is the front view, okay, of a cuboidal vessel. इसका width inwards is W, okay? Inwards, X with a circle around it means inwards. यहाँ पे radius R है. What is this looking like? So this is a quarter cylinder. What on earth is a quarter cylinder? How you cut cucumbers at times. Cylinder को 4 part में काट दो, becomes a quarter cylinder. Along the axis if you cut at 90 degrees. This is homework. Okay? Along the axis, if you cut at 90 degrees, you get a quarter cylinder. This is a slightly good question with a short solution. So very nice question, but with a very short solution. And this is more for to make you, this to challenge you guys and make you think. So I've placed this kind of quarter cylinder on the, inside this tank. Okay? And it occupies this kind of space. Yahan pe I have PATM. Okay, I have PATM. Now I want two things. I want you to find the net horizontal force in fact I'll say ignore PATM. Chalo, ignore PATM. Assume कि there is vacuum. कभी कभी questions में ऐसा देता है. So let's just ignore PATM for now. Okay. So I want the net horizontal force by water and the net vertical force by water on the quarter cylinder. Now you may think कि pressure area वगैरह integrate करके निकालना पड़ेगा. The hint is you don't need to integrate. Okay? So can you try to do this question with logic, with Newton's laws, Archimedes principle and stuff like that without having to integrate? Okay, that's your homework question for you to think about. This is, again, disclaimer, not an easy question, but something to make you think. अच्छा, ये front view मतलब एक मिनट, there's no need to integrate. यार front view समझ में आता है ये. This is how it's going to look if you look at it from the front. This is how it looks if you look at it from the front. आगे से देखने में ऐसा दिख रहा है. Width is W. ठीक है, width is W मतलब ये into the board this has some width. Okay, so this symbol means into the board. The X with the circle means into the board. तो अंदर के तरफ है ना, this has some thickness, it has some width. ये जो rectangle तुम्हें दिख रहा है वो बस front view था. तो अंदर की तरफ इसका width कितना है? W है. Got it? They are two separate statements. I hope you understood what this is talking about. Ayush, is it? We'll find out. Okay. So anyways, I'll upload this on the drive. You want to leave, you can leave. I'll just quickly answer then Prithvi's doubt. Rho S, this portion is solid. S stands for solid. Rho S is the density of the solid. Rho L is the density of the liquid. S stands for solid, L stands for liquid. Yes, good night. Yes, bye. Okay, Prithvi. देखो, yeah, good night, good night. यार यहाँ पे एक्चुअली क्या हमने सीखा, फॉर एनी लिक्विड, प्रीवियस पेज में हमने क्या प्रूव किया है ना, फॉर एनी लिक्विड द नेट फोर्स एक्टिंग ऑन इट इज एवरेज प्रेशर इनटू एरिया. जैसे हमने पहले लिखा था कि यार यहाँ पे क्या लिखा था, वी सेड कि आई कांट फाइंड नेट फोर्स by the formula pressure into area. Why? Because pressure is not constant. So there's some lag. I'll wait. Yes, Devin, just message me again once. Okay? Bye, good night. यहाँ पे pressure into area we said है ना, we can't do this because pressure is not constant. But the idea is, can we find the average pressure what is the average pressure that the that we can find, say we'll get the force on the wall by simply multiplying pressure with area. What is that average pressure? So we solved, and in the end we got a result which told us that somehow that force is equal to the area of the wall into some pressure. All right, so this pressure over here behaves like the average pressure for the wall. Okay. हाँ साहिल एक मिनट, इसी से related है क्या? And then we found that this pressure ultimately means the pressure at the exact midpoint of the wall. Okay, whoever wants to unmute can unmute. पृथ्वी तो बताता है exact doubt क्या था?
Sir, shouldn't that be rho g h square by 4?
यहाँ पे देखना इंटीग्रेशन देख, rho g h l dh का इंटीग्रेशन, rho g l बार गया, h का इंटीग्रेशन is h square by 2.
Sir, but this h and the dh that post integrating that we get is different, no? Achha, no, they are the same. Sorry.
हाँ, ये छोटा h and h same है. Post integrating, I'm substituting the total h.
Okay, sir. And sir, in the next page, sir, the question that you solved.
हाँ.
Sir, Ismail, sir, why did you add? I mean, you took 5 meters from the top and then like 5 meters from the bottom, right? That's what you did, no?
No. So what I did was to find the force applied by each individual liquid. I need to find the average pressure for each individual liquid. How am I going to find that? I'm going to find that by finding the pressure at the midpoint of those liquids. Okay. So
Yes,
I
sir.
need, so this is me finding the pressure at A, midpoint of the first liquid. I multiply that with the area of the wall for the first liquid, which happens to be 10. This gives me the force by the first liquid. Similarly, I found the pressure at B, which is the midpoint of the second liquid, because the pressure over there gives me the average pressure for this liquid. It's the midpoint of this liquid, gives me the average pressure for this liquid. This average pressure into area gives me the force by this liquid.
Got it, sir. Got it.
Okay. And Sahil, you can unmute.
Sir, but what if means the total height we could take 20 meters and both?
Hello, sir.
Ek minute. Let Sahil finish. This is Sahil, right?
Hello, sir. It's Sahil.
हाँ. बोल आगे बोल.
Sir, I have a doubt in that ice and liquid वाला part.
Okay. ठीक है, Sahil, I'll do that. इसके पहले कोई बंदा एक बोल रहा था ना क्या, what if I take the total height as 20 and then
Yes, sir. Directly we can do it.
but कैसे
Sir, but
निकालेगा
then
average?
rho differs, no?
Rho differs. You have not, the previous page ka proof में rho was not changing, so you can't expect to use that result over here because rho is changing. Got it? You can only do
Yes,
it now
sir.
you can do it individually for these liquids. You can't use the previous page का result here. Clear हो गया तेरा?
Yes, sir. Bye, sir. Good night.
हाँ, साहिल, नाइस के क्वेश्चन में क्या है? Yes, Sahil.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
हाँ सर, मतलब सर इधर आइस ना पूरा सिंक नहीं होगा ना, half of the ice will be above the layer of liquid and half will be sink.
हाँ.
सर डिस्प्लेस तो हाफ ही करेगा ना आइस, जितना सिंक मतलब जितना डूबा रहेगा उतना ही डिस्प्लेस करेगा ना.
जितना सबमर्ज्ड है उतना डिस्प्लेस करेगा.
तो सर लिक्विड जब आइस कन्वर्ट लिक्विड में होगा तो फिर लेयर बढ़ना चाहिए ना सर?
नहीं, बट आइस भी कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होता है ना. इनफैक्ट जैसे तू थोड़ा वैल्यूज के साथ देख, आइस का डेंसिटी पानी के डेंसिटी का करस्पॉन्डिंग 0.8 है. CGS यूनिट में पानी का 1 है, आइस का 0.8 है. इसका मतलब क्या होगा, आइस अंदर कितना होगा? अगर तेरे पास 1 cc ऑफ आइस है ना, 1 cc ऑफ आइस अंदर सिर्फ 80% अंदर होगा, नॉट एग्जैक्टली 50% बट 80%. जितना डेंसिटी का रेशियोज होता है उतना सबमर्ज होता है. तो आइस अंदर कितना है? 0.8 cc मान लो. ठीक है, तो 0.8
Yes,
cc का पॉकेट बनेगा जब आइस को तुम निकालोगे. तो अब आइस, यही आइस जब मेल्ट होता है वो कितना पानी बनता है? इफ यू थिंक ऑफ दैट, रो आइस इनटू वॉल्यूम आइस इज रो वाटर इनटू वॉल्यूम वाटर. क्या किया यहाँ पे मैंने? मास कंजर्व किया. ओके, सो इफ यू सी द
Yes, sir.
वॉल्यूम ऑफ water that is formed, that also becomes 0.8 times volume of ice. Okay, so therefore the volume of water formed is exactly equal to the volume of this pocket, because एक तो ice contract होता है melting में, है ना? तो submerged भी कम है, submerged भी पूरा submerged नहीं है, और वो contract होके जितना पानी बनता है वो भी कम है, पानी भी पूरा 1 cc नहीं है. And you can exactly prove कि the amount of water formed, rho I Vi by rho W, and the amount of, नहीं, rho I Vi by rho W, हाँ सही है. This is the amount of water formed, and the pocket that is created, both are the same. ठीक है, pocket created V submerged से आता है, V submerged भी वही है, rho
तो
I.
सर
हाँ.
अगर एक्सपेरिमेंटली आइस के शेप का अगर क्यूब लेते हम लोग और उसके अंदर आइस डालते, तो आफ्टर मतलब जब लिक्विड में कन्वर्ट हो जाएगा तो लेवल कम हो जाएगा उसका ना
नहीं.
क्यूब.
हाँ?
सर लिक्विड तो कांटेक्ट करेगा ना आपको.
Sir, if you mind, sir,
हाँ.
so what you're studying in entropy, sir, here the phase change does not occur at equilibrium. It's more of a forward process than a backward process. So if, according to him, sir, if what he says the level decreases, then it is being implied that contraction is more than melting, no, which is not happening at all.
Yeah, I am not getting how you're linking entropy to this.
So no, sir, phase transformation does not occur at equilibrium. No, sir, it's a forward process. So what we study in equilibrium, so the rate of which the ice melts and the rate at which the water is being submerged, they're not equal, no? That is why the level. So yeah, that is the same here. That is why the water level is same, right?
I don't think that's the reason. This is, see, rate of melting is a calorimetric concept that deals with specific heat capacities, latent heat, etc. यहाँ पे this has to do with density and volume, submerged and stuff like that. I think you cannot answer this question without using mass conservation and without using Archimedes principle. You cannot answer this. Let me just, in case this this is eluded you guys, this is the equation we got from Archimedes principle. ये याद है? Rho solid V solid by rho W. इस केस में solid is ice. This is
Yes, sir, याद है.
exactly. हाँ, तो this is the amount of ice immersed. ये कहाँ से आ रहा है? ये purely Archimedes principle से आ रहा है. अभी मैंने जो लिखा, volume of water formed is mass of ice melting upon density of water, because mass of ice melting is mass of water formed, mass of water by density is volume of water formed. तो ये mass conservation से आता है. It's with these two concepts alone that you can prove कि the volume of water formed is exactly equal to volume of water submerged. Therefore, जब तुम ice को निकालोगे, volume of water submerged is volume of water, volume of ice submerged is volume of water displaced. मतलब is the volume of that pocket that will be formed if I remove this ice cube. ठीक है, तो इसलिए उतना ही space भर जाएगा पानी से. So
सर
हाँ, and
सर
there
अगर
are,
एक्सपेरिमेंटली जैसे आपने वो टैंक बनाया उसमें स्लैब आइस ऑफ स्लैब डाला, पूरा स्लैब ऑफ आइस, और हाइट मार्क किया, फिर जब लिक्विड में कन्वर्ट होता है तो हाइट कम होगा कि सेम रहेगा?
हाँ, मतलब पूरा का पूरा आइस है, मतलब लिक्विड में कन्वर्ट होते वक्त कॉन्ट्रैक्ट होगा. बट डू यू अंडरस्टैंड ओवर हियर, वो तो मतलब यहाँ पे भी दिख रहा है कि आइस का साइज छोटा हो रहा है. तो हम लेवल के बारे में बात करते वक्त आइस का साइज नहीं देख रहे थे, आइस का टोपी नीचे जा रहा है वो नहीं देख रहे थे. हम देख रहे थे वाटर लेवल को के साथ क्या हो रहा है. अब तो वाटर डालेगा ही नहीं तो वाटर लेवल के बारे में कैसे कमेंट करेगा? समझ रहा है?
यस
वाटर लेवल, हाँ, बट इफ देयर इज वेरी लिटिल वाटर, उसके ऊपर तूने आइस डाल दिया है ना, देन यू विल, मतलब ऐसा साइड से थोड़ा ऐसा वाटर क्रीप हो रहा है, मतलब
Yeah.
थोड़ा that water level, whatever water is present, that water level will decrease by the time ice melts. Yeah, sorry, that water level will stay the same by the time ice melts. And इसमें ये भी है कि given there is sufficient water to make ice float, this is when ice is floating. ठीक है, तो थोड़ा भी पानी नहीं, इतना होना चाहिए कि आइस फ्लोट हो रहा है, फिर वो फ्लोटिंग आइस जब मेल्ट होता है तब देयर इज नो चेंज इन वाटर लेवल.
Okay, sir. I got it. Thank you, sir.
पृथ्वी जरा हो गया क्लियर?
Sir, sir, I'm still not getting it. So because I got the same answer as what you got. So in the next page,
हाँ
it's the derivation, but so the method is completely different, sir.
हाँ बोला क्या है मतलब?
नहीं सर, जो आपने फोर्स ऑन अ वॉल वाला किया था,
मैंने क्या किया था? फोर्स ऑन,
सर वो फोर्स ऑन वॉल कैलकुलेट किया था ना
हाँ हाँ हाँ
सर, उसमें सर सर कैन यू जस्ट ओपन दैट पेज, आई विल टेल यू व्हाट एग्जैक्टली इट इज.
हाँ बोल.
हाँ सर इसमें आपने the pressure at that particular point you took it as P1 plus rho g h, sir.
हाँ
Sir, I took it as P1 plus rho g h plus dh, but dh is negligibly small, so that I know. But when I multiplied LDH and I separated all the terms, sir, h into dh I cancelled because the term is very small after multiplying h with dh. And sir, then I got the answer. Final answer is rho into g into dh the whole square, and after integrating dh
नहीं
becomes.
तो dh तो होल स्क्वायर, तो वही तो निग्लेक्ट कर रहा है तू.
नहीं सर, मैं h into dh नेग्लेक्ट कर रहा हूँ क्योंकि सर h को
अरे
dh.
क्या कर रहा है?
Sir,
गलत चीज को निग्लेक्ट किया. यू टेल मी, इज h into dh negligible or is dh into dh negligible?
so technically dh into dh, but we need to integrate something, that is why I kept dh the whole square.
No, but which will be negligible?
dh
This.
the whole.
हाँ, because imagine this. First of all, dh is infinitesimally small. फिर भी उसको थोड़ा इज्जत देके बड़ा कर ले. If h is 1 and dh is 10 power minus 10 and you multiply the two, h dh
Oh, yes,
will be
sir,
10
yes,
power
sir.
minus 10.
Yes, sir, sorry.
dh will be 10 power minus 20.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Got it. Bye, sir.
Bye, sir.
Bye.